This is Twit.
So what's your grand scheme then? Your grand plan? So what? And 1 hour is not nearly enough to find out all of the stuff we want to know about Alex Lindsay. But and some of it, I'm assuming people understand that you're the half of what we do here is your recommendation. You're a video genius. You're a digital artist. You're a 3D creator. Pixel Core. We've talked about your work in Africa, where you're teaching people in Rwanda how to use these digital tools. You're creating a whole marketplace there for digital artists. So I think people understand the parts of that, but there must be a larger global strategy.
Well, I think that all of the stuff for me is
what ties it together.
The thing that ties it together is that I think that there is a transformational opportunity that's connected to having everyone be able to
global conversation.
That no one's left out. It's the idea when everyone understands each other and when everyone's actually able to talk to each other, and everyone's able to interact that way, that it changes. In some ways, it could change the way what it is to be human. Mm-hmm. You know, because we suddenly understand these things in a whole different way. It accelerates that process. Mm-hmm. And I think there's just a lot of people being left out right now of that conversation. And so how do we keep on including them? So when you look at what we're doing in Rwanda is generating a business around, an industry around media production. But what the ancillary effect of that industry is that a lot more people will have access to the media. And so when we're putting, in Rwanda as
not to watching TV, but to making it.
And to interacting with each other and being part of it. I mean, having the same access that we have here where we're tweeting pictures and video, when when we're on G+ or Twitter or Facebook, we're, the acceleration of our togetherness in some ways, is something that is very useful, but we need to keep on including more and more people in that conversation.
I think we've gotten to the point now where people understand something's happening and things are changing, and the human experience is changing dramatically, right in front of our eyes. But what you're saying, and I guess people aren't maybe as aware of this, is it's not available to everybody.
Right.
Is it just in the first world? Are developing nations left out?
Well,
it seems
a lot
to
of
me
developing
India
nations are jumping onto it as well. But how do we get it to a point where that literacy of not just tweeting and Facebook, but that literacy of being able to tell your story online and be able to tell your story to everyone and be able to show these things in a meaningful way, the access to those tools, the access to those skills, those things are still, even in the United States, I would say, rare.
No, that's true.
And so
we hang out with people who know how to do it.
Right.
But there's still a lot of people who don't know how to. The majority, probably.
And there's there's an increasing amount of power in being able to do that well. Being able to tell those stories.
Should everybody be able to do that?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I think that I would argue that more importantly, I know we've seen a big push on code. Everyone has to learn how to code.
Yeah, this is the new thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure that everyone needs to learn how to code, no. but I am certain that I do think that it's important for people to, in the future, to be successful, to be able to express themselves at least with graphics and video and so on and so forth, because I think that more and more they're going to have to be able to that's how you're going to engage everyone, and it doesn't mean that they all have to be able to do that, but I think life will be easier for those who can.